Well, Jason, we waste no time. We're coming straight back into things. And of course, that means we're getting into our second matchup on the main stream, the A stream, the one stream, whatever you want to call it stream. The hour stream, Jason. It's you and I. It's our baby. And it's going to be forZe versus Gambit.
Yeah, I think we've both been looking forward to this matchup today. Definitely when we saw what was ahead of us. I mean, listen, I think Gambit has been talked about plenty over the past few months, and rightfully so. Best team in the world, have been playing so well. They've really come out of nowhere this year just to take the entire world by storm, and that's fantastic. forZe is going to be no slouch, though. They're going to be a pretty tough opponent to go up against, and I'd like to see this. They haven't played in like 8 months. It's been like I think it was October of last year they last went head-to-head, and that's a long time for a matchup to go without actually meeting. So this is going to be kind of a cool way for them to meet and see how far Gambit shot ahead of them, if at all, in this match.
I completely agree. Because this is a team that I think this year, especially, Gambit's really turned some heads. They've come out of, I don't want to say nowhere, because obviously Hobbit is the next major winner. But yeah, they've no one would have predicted they're the #1 team in the world at this point. And they've really showcased some incredible Counter-Strike. Even Navi saying when they lost the last event to them that these guys are on another level right now, that they're playing so well together. Shiro's certainly a name that stepped up a lot, and as you can see right now, it's them and Navi that lead the way in this RMR in Group B. forZe has 2 map wins, so they have 3 points, and this could be a chance perhaps to get some more on the board, but 4 map wins and 2, so it's 3 points a series. So again, I know this looks kind of confusing. Obviously they're best of 3, so if you have 2 or 4 wins, if you have an even number of wins, you probably won everything. So, 6 points. Gambit are 2-0, as are Navi, and forZe has only won 2 maps and only played 1 series so far.
Yeah, very interesting standings. And I mean, we have the other matchup on the other stream as well. We mentioned it just real quick before we dive too deep, is VP taking on Spirit, which is actually a pretty interesting game as well. So that one's going on in the alternate StarLadder stream, and more than welcome to watch that. This is going to be forZe. This is who we're looking at here. Zorti, Kensi, Almazer, Jerry, and Flit.
Yep. So Almazer, Flit, we've seen these guys around for a bit of time, obviously. Flit's usually a pretty consistent player in that regard, but I'm curious to see what they do bring to the table, as you say, because this was a team that would have played Gambit a lot before they kind of exploded into the team that they are now. So you're right. It's kind of a good litmus test to see how much Gambit has improved and how far they have gone from when they were basically rivals, and likewise to see what forZe offers. Maybe there's something in this whole region. Maybe forZe is still a really good team in their own right, and Gambit's just the one that's been able to turn the heads and get the attention from the rest of the world. So there's the team that we all know. Inters, Shiro, Axel, and Hobbit. Obviously Nafni, I leave him for last because he just had a great podcast where he mentioned a lot of different things. It was a big talking point this week.
Yeah, I mean, this team's got so many cool things to it. Shiro, Axel, really exciting. I love the way Hobbit's playing at the moment. They're on fire. And the last time these teams met last year, these matches were close. So I'm just so curious to see how this has changed everything. And I think we're going to get Ancient here, Matt, because forZe is a big fan of the pick, the Ancient pick, and we've got it.
Let's go.
Dust 2 coming up next. Yeah, the classic Dust 2 map after Ancient. I haven't casted this yet. This is going to be weird. This is going to be wild. I think it's your first time casting it as well, Ancient?
It is, but I saw it a lot last week, as I said, with Gamers Without Borders. Yeah. So chance there that I'll be able to... Well, hopefully. That's kind of what I'm aiming for, but we'll see if that's the truth or not.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, could be way off and horrible on it. So Inferno's our leftover map, our deciding map in this series. So yeah, starting out with Ancient, this could be a lot of fun, Jason. As we say, this map plays a bit like Cash. I think that the emphasis on middle is very similar, but I think it's more important for the CTs. The Ts can still kind of, unless you want to hit the A site, you don't necessarily need middle as much. Going through what people were calling donut, I know for a while, but I think Simple's calling it totem. But going through that, obviously mid connector to A can certainly strengthen that take, but that means you do have to kind of take mid, and mid has a lot more access to it from the CTs. They also need it more for retakes, certainly to get toward the Jaguar and Cave position to get back inside of the site. So there's a lot to watch in that regard, and I know a lot of the Ts have been trying to hold CTs off and take that fight, but oftentimes I think putting a little bit too much utility emphasis on middle, because A, with the site actually close to the connection points, kind of requires a lot of smokes down just to get in and get close to the CTs. And I made the point as well that I know a lot of people are annoyed because A and B are kind of backwards on this map compared to what we're used to, but A compares to B on cash, and there's 2 connection points back into the site for the CTs. The difference is that an op on retake, even though there's double up ability on this map, the op on the retake isn't as strong because you don't have heaven. So you can't slow things down and not have the T's kind of attacking you from that position as well. Now in the T's in the post plant, if you're not right there and already set up, they can push through and get in your face and really cut you off on those rotations. So we haven't seen a whole lot of the T's going necessarily straight through on that push because usually they're just locking off the choke points. But the point is they have access to both of those points, unlike Cash where heaven was kind of inaccessible from the T's perspective. So there's a lot to look at in that regard, and I think Cash is the closest thing that it plays to.
Okay, well, that I was taking notes, and we're gonna get back to that. Everything you just said,
once,
it better be perfect.
I am the analyst.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to that after this game, and we'll criticize and critique everything, unless you're right, in which case we'll go crazy. But yeah, we are getting into this pistol round. Gambit had a little bit higher level of competition on this map with G2 and Navi that they've gone up against, but forZe have a very high winning rate, winning 4 out of 5 matches on it, as we saw in the graphic earlier. And here we are live into the pistol round to check things out here on Ancient.
Yeah, so we'll get into it straight away, and Hobbit's going to be quick. B sites is where they're looking to go. Attacking points inside Jaguar. You can see the CTs, how aggressive they want to get. That's going to put some thought in forZe's mind, because they need to be fully aware of the fact that that is a crucial part of the map if they want any chance of taking this B site. And now you can see that blue line. That's all you get to plant in. And that one pillar is all the cover that you get. They're not even going to get that far. It's a bit touch and go, which is why you need to control cave. If the CTs have that whole perimeter locked off, so predictable to spam through smoke. I think a little too predictable. We'll get to that as we see more of it unfold, but that's a fast round from Gambit.
Yeah, I mean, they stopped that hit very quickly. Extremely fast pace from forZe, and unfortunately, they can't even make it into the bomb site even with their utility. So good shooting from Gambit. Dualies coming alive there at the end. I always appreciate that. A big proponent of the dualies.
Why use one gun when you can use 2? Call now and we'll throw in an extra pistol. It's like, it's a 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah, 80% off the second pistol. It sounds like a deal straight out of America.
Yeah, it kind of does actually, right? The whole infomercial thing. So we'll see a bit more of an approach over toward A this time, as A main looks to be the point of contact. Again,
are we in a submarine all of a sudden? Do you hear that too?
Does sound that way a bit, doesn't it?
That's the water bug everyone's been talking about. All right, now we're getting the full experience.
Maybe there's like an aqueduct underneath, right? Maybe that's intentional.
I like submarine.
Okay, we'll go with submarine. Maybe it's yellow. Kenzie's gonna take down Inters though, and that will make things a bit more awkward for Gambit, but they're immediately with Hobbit going to try and take back control of the A site because they've gone aggressive. Again, we saw Gambit taking over that middle, that CT presence that we talked about, and they were able to wrap back and control the extremities of A quite well. But now, Nafni is going to take down Kenzie. We'll slow things again as they work up toward ramp at B. Bomb gets recovered in middle, so Nafni did that from top mid. I know a lot of people are calling that red room or candles, but I think red room is pretty indicative of it.
It's very Shining-like, Shining-esque. Here comes Shiro. Ooh, murder hole. Not moving through it just yet, and that armor is brutal for the SMG. Oh, even for the FAMAS as well on Exile. Those are 2 big kills. Hobbit's on a flank, and this needs to be effective. That's a nice frag through smoke, but Hobbit is still yet to be put in play, and he might be the X factor. He might just win this round single-handedly.
Yeah, I think he's got this. Flit. Bomb goes down. No smoke to get away. He's going to try and look back towards stairs side. That's where Nafni is. Again, you don't have a lot of coverage. Hobbit was a bit late to try and pounce on it, but you're right. His positioning, I think, had that round either way.
He was playing it well. There's no way to make that flank happen if you're running. It's just Nafni kills everything before he gets there, so fair play.
Gambit seem like they have a pretty good idea of how they want to play this in terms of the fact that they're being aggressive on the CT side, and I do think that is going to be one of the keys to this map. Just as it... I would say even more than Cash in some ways, because mid is almost by default CT territory. I mean, look at the connection points, right? It's straight off a spawn, whereas the T's have to go around either way. So there's more aggression available, but Cash, I think the really good teams knew when to use that aggression on the CT side. Flames again. Gambit there, and the T's want to actually challenge mid this time. So you can see working in right now, Kenzie and Zordy, they're going to be coming in from T spawn, from Banana.
Ooh, Nice pop flash for this peek. Although Shiro does not use it. Elbow gets re-smoked, and Shiro's just chilling with the SMG.
Dualies again. Picture in picture as we see Flit trying to make a play. And hold on to A main. But again, that's how far back they are right now. I mean, you've got Exel already working from ruins at this point in time, trying to look at A, and he has the whole site. He's got a smoke down. He's got all the choke points covered off. In fact, he's going to get aggressive and get further into the site because he can. He's now anchored this. Hobbit's got the connection point from mid. Smoke, this is where it's going to be a challenge, though. He's got Donut to work around Totem. As I said, Simple's calling it. You can see the totem pole just in front. So Hobbit has 2 angles to cover and a bit of coverage to make it work. And they're going to walk right by and make noise. He knows. Oh, he's gone the long way around, interestingly, rather than taking the acute angle, but makes it work for Kenzie. That's going to give him a bit more coverage again. Bombs the one in the back. So he actually drops that. And again, the CT position. Now, the difference is this time, Flit actually is able to push forward because they cleared out the only player that was in B, but they lost the one thing they needed to make that work, to plant the bomb. Jason, you need the bomb.
Yeah, that's a great frag from Hobbit. That's actually perfect. And now you can see that flank even coming in is not going to be as effective. And this bomb's impossible to retrieve. There's no utility. They're not able to do anything. This is so brutal and time's run out. That's a great round from Hobbit to just steal this for Gambit.
Yeah, the CT side timings are just so much more powerful on this map. You really clear out angles. And they didn't even consider the backside of Totem. And Gambit, this is one of the best CT sides I've seen yet. I've seen a lot of teams, Mouse Sports last week, they were kind of running a double op setup and kind of rotating between the sites. They couldn't figure out exactly where they wanted to put A core. And they ended up leaving a lot of exposure at A as a result. But this aggressive style at A, think of that as like taking over the halls at B on Cash. As soon as you got a player out by Toxic, you just rotate off it because you've got all that information. Well, Hobbit's doing the same, only he's playing toward middle instead. And that's crucial because he can rotate so quickly. I do think the textures are a bit repetitive, though. Don't know how you feel about that. I think it can be a bit tough to... not so much from a playing perspective, because obviously you know where you are at that point, but from a viewer perspective, to immediately identify where you are on the map can be a bit tricky at times. Not bad looking though, this map as Hobbit goes back out toward middle. And aggressive again. Look at how fast he wants to challenge this. I mean, this is Gambit actually showcasing to me that perhaps the timings are almost a little bit unequal and that the CTs have so much more to work with. They are going to get held off this time. Finally, Jerry's going to try and use that Tetris position to try and slow things down a little bit. But look at Inters immediately up on the inside of that. He can actually wrap around. The Jerry's crosshair placement is below. Nafany, meanwhile, also inside right now of Jaguar. And if he pushes out from Jaguar on this right now, I mean, Jerry's got it so much work already to cover off middle. This is going to just be a sandwich. This will be an absolute bloodbath. Kenzie's waiting. He knows that they're likely to put utility outside of that door, so he'll back off of it now. We're going to jump away and watch Flit, meanwhile, who sneaks by smoke. So the fact that Zordy and Flit are up this far, they can still capitalize on this. You've got to go all the way back towards CT and wrap back in from the back halls, but... inside Donut this time gets aggressive. Zordy's got the shot back in return. It's all down at this point to Zortex, and only at this point are 8 HP. He'll be found by Inters. Gambit once again. It's a bit more passive aggressive this time, but still able to take over the mid position.
Nicely done. To you and Gambit, Matthew.
Thank you. Ooh. Thank you, darling.
That's a head taken clean right off. 4-0. So forZe's pick off to a slow start. I don't know. They got the money in a decent place. They're at that economic break, right? Like they're still trying to keep the money low for Gambit side of things. Everyone headed towards the B side of the map. Looking like we're gonna get another real fast-paced round. The Flame's gonna trap them forward. Surely they go right through this. I think they have to at some point. Nafany's in trouble. Blinded as well right at the end. He goes down for free, but Inters is there, and he's dropped as well. Shiro's got to hang on with this AWP, and he's got an M4 in support in Hobbit.
I think that's better from forZe, right? They're going to need a few of these fast rounds just to get Gambit back on their feet. To have to consider the fact that Knight does have some options without middle access to the T's, and the fact that they're able to get smokes down, cover off the stairs position. Bomb gets in with 2 smokes covering. Now, there is a boost you can do just where Hobbit is now that puts you up and elevates you enough that you can see him behind. Again, that single tower for cover. I wish it was a sort of a double stack. You know, high and one high. If it were a collapsed pillar, it might get more. They're going to get on this. They're going to hold this right away. With smokes down, they're going to try and cover the defuse. Jerry's going to get back through, and he'll take care of it with the Tech 9, and forZe find their first round.
Scrappy round, and yeah, all due to the opening entries are so powerful, and it happens so fast, and there's so much cover that forZe can get into so many different positions. Tough to clear out for Gambit, and they've done it. I mean, that's the money pressure that was being applied by the T side. As we see so often, even though there's a 4-round streak, 1 win, and the CT economy just crumbles. Nice tunnel vision. An example of good tunnel vision from Almazer there.
So again, you can see a little bit of that early utility. But this time, Hobbit, he doesn't have access to middle to cover it off because that's the way he's been going. But he can still go through A against that toad. Dead node. Oh, Naf. All right, that's
unfortunate. That's got a bit of a moment there. Takes some damage, I think, from the opposition before stepping in his own flames.
Oops, he's gonna point out actually though that he was already up inside of A main, and he thinks he's got enough information. The problem is he knows mid's open, so he has to fall back on this.
I think Hobbit knows it too. Oh, it's awkward timing, especially for the SMG. Needs to win that battle, but nah, the AK is going to come out on top of that so frequently. And a whole new avenue is opened up to the 8 bomb set as they wrap around from behind. The rest of 4 is just holding across the map. And Gambit hasn't moved anywhere. Split 1-1-1. Nobody can maneuver. You don't have the resources and don't have the weaponry to take those fights. So this is a round win for forZe.
Yeah, another one. So they are, now that they've got weapons out, they are actually slowing down Gambit's aggression. And I think this time, Hobbit really wanted to contest middle and try and get into sort of that nook that leads to Totem, but the Molotov was actually quite smart. And the problem was he then has to go the long way all the way back over toward A or take the fight. And he obviously didn't want to take the fight in that situation. And that kind of left Axley all by himself. He pushes up, no information. Yeah, there is ways to slow this down. I like some of this aggression. Yeah, Nafni, that's unfortunate. So he actually stepped on their Molotov, walked away from it to take the fight, got onto his own.
Yep.
And was tagged.
Lose-lose situation all across the board for him. Back to just the USPs. All 5 in mid. Surely forZe, it looks like they're waiting for this exact play. Oh, but they're not ready for the double dink from multiple USPs. Vetop's got to get the hell out of there. Cherry from behind is able to mitigate some of the damage that's being taken, and Nathany's in an impossible situation. All the CTs they're stuck between 2 tough angles.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what you get for being okay, Hobbit. That's foolish. Bye, Zordy. Bye, Jerry. Bye, Felicia. As they take over mids, and that's what Gambit wants to do. I mean, they're going to play this like Napoleon, divide and conquer the whole time. Bomb's still going to get planted on B. They're going to be aware that it's on that side of the map, and they're going to try and recruit some weaponry from the floors. They've already got 1 AK. I saw an AWP that was just thrown away, but Hobbit's going to elect to stick on the AK as well. And it's Almazer to hold the sights. Molotov thrown. You'll have heard that. Almazer to be aware that cave is a likely position, but not where both of them are. Now he hears 2 sets of feet, and he'll play a single potent position. Tries to get headshots. Needs to be careful on the second spray. Backs away. That's smart. Play the time instead as he resets his position with the AK. 20 bullets to play with, and off the bomb goes Alexel, but it's going to be detonates either way because not enough time to get a defuse without a kit.
Yeah, that's
13 blast radius. Okay, he's fine.
Oh no, he's got it. Safety. That's crazy that they're able to do that kind of a round with just USPs. They win so many just heads-up duels, and this felt like they very easily should have been trapped. What great shooting from Hobbit. Good round from him. Economic damage as well over to that T side. Keep the money limited. A lot easier to manage over there, but a 1-round lead still for Gambit as they get back into the fight with rifles.
Be interesting where it's kind of an elevated position to get to that double door. If they could maybe open that up somehow and you have to get up onto the bridge to get up there so that like it's not an immediate access point. Just trying to think of timings to change, but I don't want to get too far carried away with changing the map. I think we need to let it play out, Jason, and let the teams kind of get feedback on it and get a feel for it.
Yeah. It's gonna get its time. It'll get some changes as we go, but you're right. It's gonna need to be play tested. Ooh, Daphne, there's that spot. Jerry sees it as well. Swinging up. Tough fight for the FAMAS. He goes down. It's traded. Churro is there with the quickness.
And Inters is actually coming back from Cave, which is such a strong position, but he looks the wrong direction. Almazer finds the kill. And they're going to wrap all the way back toward the alley, which means they can hold the CTs on rotation. Nothing they're going to do. Good shot from the AK. Shiro goes down. We might have a tie game on our hands, Jason, which is a pretty impressive comeback considering how aggressive Gambit was being at the start of this map.
What a brutal contact play, and then the follow-up like contact play as well. Gambit never expected a second player to be coming up that long B ramp. Hobbit's going to try and make something happen. What'd you call this? Jaguar? Jungle? Cave now?
Jaguar. Yeah. I think cat, because jaguars are a form of cat. Some people are calling it like leopard or cheetah, but those don't exist in South America, so it's jaguar.
Yeah, that all makes sense. In a very David Attenborough kind of way. Hobbit, seeing if he can spot anything. Ooh, inside of the grenade smoke, he can't get it done. 1 versus 2, but Exile sidesteps into the scope. And it's all tied up. You're right, 4-4.
Yeah, 4-4 indeed. That's a decent turnaround for forZe. I think Gambit's aggression kind of come back to bite them a little bit. They've been trying a few things, and forZe has adapted. And they're taking away map control. B is going to be the main hit for most teams. I think the A plant zone being right in front of that ruins position as well as the CT connector, it's just so difficult, right? You got to have smokes in 3 spots to be safe from landing that bomb. If they move that more back to the corner, it might be a little bit better. That's my first thing that I noticed. And that and the coverage, like I said, in the B site improved. But great shot from Hobbit to start it off again as he finds another one on the Deagle. Another headshot. Flit goes down this time. It's Afni that's going to actually try and hold out inside smoke. Can't do it. Almazer spots him. So another trade goes back the way of forZe. And that'll make things a bit more difficult on the defense. Try to flash peek towards ramp. And they're going to play at the wood position.
Almazer knew there was going to be a pop flash there as well. He was playing for it. He was turned, playing anti-flash, waiting for the sound cue to peek up and try and take that fight. Exile still deep on A. Shiro and Inter's falling back. And forZe is just super patient. Still spread across the map. Just now Zorti with the bomb is rotating back around.
Someone's pointed out that leopards do live in South America. Look, I don't care. We're calling it Jaguar because Shagwire, okay? We're bringing him back. It's a 1.6 reference for you, Jason.
Yeah, no, I caught that one. I know the man.
Well, we're going to slow it down.
How did you not know leopards weren't in South America?
Look, man, I meant cheetah. I said leopard and realized I wrote myself in, but it was called cheetah according to Elijah's map.
Yes, it is called cheetah according to Elijah's map.
Is that the one you have up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that last week.
You know, just gonna have to hammer these names into my head, and you know, this whole discrepancy between cheetahs and leopards and jaguars is throwing me for a loop.
I think just cat. It's like the short approach to the site. Why don't we just call it cat, even if it's not a catwalk? I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair. We just give names to things that don't even make sense just because that's the way they are on other maps. I like it.
Yep,
makes complete sense to me.
Apparently, Vertigo has a spot called Fifi, which is hilarious because Faflaren hasn't played ever on Vertigo.
Which spot is Fifi?
I don't know. He was trying to tell me last week. Maybe he was making the whole thing up. But he said all spots Fifi based on reasons.
Well, yeah, but that's all. That's a tribute.
It's not a universal call,
tribute. Yeah, definitely not universal. One round lead for
forZe now in the lead. This is impressive. This is a good turnaround from them.
Yeah, it is, and it happened very quickly. It feels like. Also, it feels a bit jarring just because that first round win did just completely break the economy. Again, we have all 5 players heading towards the B bomb site. Almazer looking to pressure behind this smoke. Utility. Ooh, that's not a bad nade at all, and that's an even better piece of spam.
Spick and spam, you could say, but Zorda is going to get Nafani back down, so at least bringing things back to an even keel. Once again, no Hobbit. Smoke nearly caught out as he was jumping. Couldn't quite get on the ground fast enough, but managed to still find the headshot when he did. Flit will get him back, so no one really taking a distinct advantage, but ramp becoming more and more problematic. Look at the mid position, though, right now. Exile is going to be working all the way down and trying to get the flank. They need to hold them off of B. In the meantime, shot from Shiro. Quick scope does damage. Flit's tagged. I think it was through the edge of the statue. And as a result of it, Didn't quite get the kill, but here we go. This is the flank. Should be easy at this point. AWP in front, one and done. Down goes Zordy as well as Flit. Jerry's gone, but they still get a bomb planted into forZe, and that's going to give them a bit more money to work with. They've already got a decent amount in their pockets.
Yeah, but that's well done from Gambit. I mean, Hobbit 2 kills is huge. It seems like those A ramp battle, or those B ramp battles, forZe is having a lot of fun with them at the moment. So that's going to be an ongoing difficulty for Gambit to handle. But at least when they get into the 3v3, they play it passive. They control Cave or Cheetah or Jaguar or Leopard or whatever you decide to call it. And they just bide their time for this Exile flank. Yeah. It could just be general animal.
Feline. Pussy. Hobbit. Let's not call it Hobbit. He's going to go right through. This time he's had enough of that Molotov. He says, you know what? I want this position back. And he wants it quickly, because if you go through A, it's not like the timing's that much different. He'd probably be getting there about now, but he doesn't want it to be contested and be forced out. Interestingly, they're actually playing a 3-2 split favoring A, despite that we haven't seen nearly as much activity on that side of the map. But we are seeing a bit of posturing this time over in that direction, as already Flit is clearing out the A main position.
All right, well, this is a bit more calculated, it feels. Kenzie and Zortine. Ooh, that's a good kill from Almazer.
Ooh, what's this boost? I don't think I've seen this one yet. Mid boost to let you see
into Red Room.
Yep.
Red Room.
I was just going to say, forZe clearly have set pieces, because like they've landed the smoke and Molotov at that connector point every single time, and it's their map pick. Like, they've got an indication of what they want to do. I think Gambit just came at them really fast in the first few rounds, but now we're seeing them be a little more strategic with it. Inter's nearly didn't make that work. Hobbit's gone in the background. In the meantime, the problem now with Inter's position is he's locked in at wood. Unfortunately for Almazer, there's no one coming up ramp to try and push out and work that together. And Inter's puts a nice defensive bit of Molotov work down. He's still worried about his backside, and rightfully so, but gets an angle on Almazer in the meantime.
Yeah, and that lurk was supposed to be a plan B so that they could fall back to it, but now they're just really, really having a tough time of it. 8 seconds on the clock, and they're going to back away. Yeah, all their options shut down. One player coming out long A, one player coming out long B, and neither of them worked.
I still think that plant position should be further left than A. I mean, you could just see it there. One player that late in the round, they can't even go for like a Hail Mary plant, because he's just sitting inside of the ruins, and he can peek at both sides of it, and it's gonna be, the plant's gonna be right in front of him. Like, you're not gonna miss that shot. This is a boost we're seeing a lot now. The double boost at ramp, that's pretty straightforward at this point, because it gives you a really nice angle into that back hallway.
Ooh, double up setup. Where are they going to go with this? One towards mid and the other towards the B bomb site. Molotov's down to slow any fast-paced play, but Almazer gets past it already with the Deagle.
So they've given up Cave because of a single kill in side of the site already. They have to be, well, I shouldn't say inside the site, excuse me, but over toward that side of the map as Hobbit went aggressive toward Tetris. But the fact that they give up Cave.
Yeah, Nathany's in a real weird spot.
Yeah, he's hugely in trouble.
He's relying
he does
on
have coverage, enters.
Kind of. He's got 3 HP, so all he can do is spot. He's not trying to take any engagement, right? He's just trying to jiggle peek the information. Nathany might swing over his crosshair, and now the information should be there. He's got to back away and be careful.
If that smoke's, you can boost behind that smoke and still see the site, but Nathany's not going to take the AWP in that direction. No smoke on the site itself, so post-plant Kenzie is going to be in a bit of trouble. He might just hold that position. He might not even move. He can afford to at this point, but watch the flank. Exile is going to spot out one. Now, that's far enough away from the site, they'll get the information, and immediately you can see what happens as Zordy looks back that way, and it wants to hold him off. As bomb continues to tick, it's time that's the factor. Both inside a cave, one's down. Murder hole, the shot back in their direction, and it's going to be the AWP to try and hold it off. Nathany gets the angle instead. Brilliantly done, and Gambit will win out the round.
That's 2 huge rounds for Exile. He's having a lot of impact. He's had a couple good moments over at the A bomb site, but most of his impact is on a few flanks wrapping around B. That's another double kill onto the retake and critical kills as they come in. 2-round lead, and even with that plant That's a lot of money for forZe built up. 5,600 on Zorti, 57 on Kenzie. They've probably got another buy coming in. It's only Almazer who's really hurting just a little bit.
Yeah, he is, but he has an AK. In this round, at least, Jerry's going to buy down to 450. So they're talking this over for sure.
No, I mean, they're 100% buying with this kind of money. For shizzle.
For sure. All right, Jason.
I don't know where that
Boomer.
came from. Yeah, what the hell? 7-5.
I'm enjoying how Hobbit's taking different timings and approaches to the map. He's definitely just playing full swing, full support kind of CT role. Aggressive support in that sense, but he's not in the same site or same position. In fact, this time Shiro is going to be the one that plays toward Totem. I find it very interesting as well. I guess it's for information, but you come out of CT and you go through mid to get to that Totem, whereas like you could, again, just as easily for timings, it's like 50-50 to get to where Shiro is, but just to see what utility is thrown, perhaps it gets you a bit more of a read.
Ooh, here we go. Mid control for the T side. Jerry's going to press the issue all the way into house. Red room, whatever you want to call it.
Top mid.
Top mid. They make some presence there. They pull Nathany's attention to it, but they're just going to go right back and hit through Donut. Totem. Nice shot from Shiro. Yeah, I don't know. He's got, him and Exile just have too easy of angles and too easy to get back into cover as well. So that kind of a hit maybe needs a little bit more time in the oven.
I think so. I think that Ruin's position is very strong. And again, with the bomb plant right in front of it, again, if the bomb's over more toward the side in the back corner of the A site, it might take away some of its threat, but maybe it's got to lose that corner so you can't have that much cover there. I don't know. That was almost looked easy for Shiro, didn't it? There it is on screen. Perfect look at it. You've got both angles to cover off.
Yeah, I mean, it's too easy to take a shot and you have so much time. And I mean, maybe there's some piece of utility that we just haven't discovered yet. But it's going to need something to make sure that Up can't just re-peek with a clear line of sight and with impunity over and over again. B-Rush gets stopped cold. Kenzie and Almazer already in the dirt.
Nathany already trying to spot out in toward Jaguar, and it's going to be an easy kill onto him. Zorde's gone down. Flit's the last alive in middle. What's this then? Is this like back red? We'll go top red, back red. Because if you say bottom mid, I'm going to think you mean T side, right?
You know,
like two rooms there.
I'm going to hold off on committing to calling anything.
Okay, yep.
For the
Don't
moment,
rope yourself in so that we can just be...
I don't want to make a clear declaration at this moment so that I can be fluid, you know, with my transitions in the future.
Or not look like an idiot when no one adapts to what we say.
Yeah, that too. I don't want people to know I can't start a trend. 9-5 lead for Gambit. Still the double op setup looking strong at the moment. 4 players on this T side for forZe headed towards the B bomb site. 2 roping in towards middle.
Nathany's just kind of getting aggressive this round with the AWP, but kind of just waiting it out. Doesn't want to commit fully. They're trying to push into Cat. Maybe I'm just going to Cat. It's easier, Jason.
Works. Ooh, nice shot.
No boost. Yeah, this is a great shot from Nathany. Gone out Mazer. That's going to slow them down considerably. He has to fall back into the side. Now, this is the boost. Okay, so watch. Deep smoke. As soon as they plant, it doesn't matter. There's only one place he can be. So even if you don't get surprised, they don't stick to that. This is what I saw Device doing last week. He just sprays it. The smoke's there. Because that statue is so tall, you can see exactly where the default plant position is. So just spray the edge of it, and I'm going to say 50-50, you're going to get a kill or not, which is why I think that statue needs to be shortened and have 1 box and a 2 box, kind of like the sort of double stack near the back of the garage, because that stack behind that smoke is actually so powerful. Spray that time. Bomb goes down as a result. Now it's the retake that has to come in. Flit's got 1 on Hobbit, doesn't matter. It's 3 men left alive for Gambit. They're going to take the half, 10-5.
Yeah, I mean, based off a lot of good retakes, even letting them, I mean, not letting them, but even when that bomb site is lost, they're still comfortable just being patient, waiting for all the rotations to come in, for the flank to potentially come in. We had Axile with a couple massive rounds, so a good stretch there in the middle for forZe, but Gambit very strong on that CT side on their adaptations and adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, both teams adapted, right? Gambit came flying out of the starting blocks, and then forZe actually managed to slow it down with a bit of utility at mid. And then Hobbit was just all over the map. Guy was playing everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, he has been. We'll see what they've got in store for the T side. Molotov flash on Hobbit. He, ooh, my contact. He heard some footsteps for sure. They have one trapped. They could actually find a way to attack into Flit. I don't think his teammate can help him. That's a lot of pressure, but they didn't realize he was there on the left. Now there's the crossfire after the Molotov expires. They missed their window. That 6-7 second window the Molotov gave them. Hobbit's doing some work, but I mean, this forZe team has just slaughtered everyone. Headshots all around.
Add another one. And more dualies, bro.
Dualies are popular now, man. They're in.
They're in style, are they? They're trendy?
It took a while. I've been pumping for the dualies for like 2 years.
Just 2 years?
Just 2 years.
All right, fair enough.
But I still feel like I was an early adopter.
Wasn't Doja pretty famous for using dualies a lot?
I'm not sure. I think Get Right has had the early claim
the
to
Swedish
that.
dualies.
Yep.
Yeah. Taken down by Flit. Rest of the team, though, gonna try and sneak this toward A, and they've got some time to work with on it. They just have Kenzie to deal with. Mind you, he's got an on-goal, the timing of that. They'll get in Ruin. He knows they're here. They're gonna call for the rotations. They're all gonna be coming back for the totem, which also lines up perfectly with the bomb site. So good luck getting a plant down, because you're just gonna be sitting in a crossfire that's all too easily seen. Again, if the bomb site was in the back corner, they could already be planting right now. Instead, they've got so much work to do with just to get to that position. And yeah, I think these 2 boxes is a perfect spot to plant the bomb, Valve.
Yeah, that is very difficult to get in there with that new avenue, Temple Ruins. That little back hallway from CT spawn is pretty tough.
I mean, this back corner kind of already works like a bomb site most traditional maps would have, right? It's kind of out of the way. You've got perimeter access, but there's still coverage in it, a few different angles you can play. So it's kind of weird to me that it's just like right in front of all of the coverage for the CTs.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if Gambit has an idea when we get to the gun rounds and they get all the utility. At the moment, still just kind of buying like as little as possible that can be efficient. When they get the AKs and they have 5 smokes, they have the Molotovs, I'll be interested to see if they find a way to put something in there to prevent all those repeaks. 10-8 might be this round. We're going to get the guns out for Gambit.
Well, it is indeed this round, Jason. No AWP. They're going to stick with 5 AKs.
Five AKs. Three towards A. Heavy defense for forZe on the other side of the map, though. 2 pushing through the smoke in Cheetah, in Cat.
Yeah, forZe seem to not want to put as much aggression directly on mid. They want to actually take it by way of force through Cat, so... Zordy, meanwhile, good shot on Nafni. That's going to slow things down again, but once more, it's A that Gambit's going to take this bomb to, and it's so difficult if you don't have the utility to cut it off. As the position at Totem this time from Zordy works backwards in effect. Again, you'd need 1, 2, 3... You'd almost need 4 smokes to cover on every angle just to get a bomb plant on the side of the map. Shiro doesn't need smokes, he just needs bullets, it seems, because it's down to just Jerry. as quickly as we can talk about it, it isn't this tunnel just so pretty as they work back into the ruins, all the candles, as Jerry's going to sit now with an MP9 and pray to this shrine that he has a chance in this round, but they're actually going to be smarter about this Gambit and not overcommit to the bomb plant without utility. Doesn't that say enough, though? Like, they've already cleared the site, and you're still worried about planting it there.
Well, it's just kind of funny because they did actually put a smoke out in ruins. I wanted to see if there was one that they had lined up ready for an execute, but this time they didn't have it, for Donut, for that hallway leading to it. So the op just switched positions, and they still get wrecked, this time from the right. Tough times. Tough times.
Yeah, I guess if there is one smoke that can get in there and cover kind of both entry points, and then you get...
Yeah, they had one. It's...
You still... I know, but that's... I guess what I'm hypothesizing is one of two things. You either need to take middle and come in through totem as well, or you're going to have to smoke that off, and then what do you do about the CT connector point, right? Like, it just seems like a lot, It's a bit overwhelming, Jason. I'm a bit overwhelmed right now. It's been a big week.
I understand. Listen, these are things we got to iron out with the new maps. It's all right. We'll see how it develops. See if somebody figures it out. 10-8, now 11-8, as Jerry's just going to save the AWP. Still good, plenty of cash for the force side of things, and Kenzie will get a drop, no problem, in the next round, but a hard-fought win for Gambit. Good round from Shiro. It does need to be said. Despite having that smoke and us kind of, musing about the strategic theory, that round was pretty much lost until Shiro just went apeshit. Sorry, went awesome mode.
Yeah, you can't be a coach anymore, Jason. You're a caster. Please tidy it up.
Clean up the language.
This is a 100 PG stream, so...
No. We're at least PG-13.
I was listening to Sinead O'Connor talk the other day about how rappers back in the 90s used to get parental advisory stickers on their albums, and it was like a thing of jealousy for the rest of the music industry because people would want to listen to them because it was like edgy at the time. So she was like really trying to get them put on her albums at one point. She was like very proud when she got one. Kind of cool. There's that smoke we talked about, bounced in, but Kenzie still has the edge of it to work with. Doesn't land the shot, though. So now it becomes effective because he's forced back, and they're thinking one man in ruins is enough to anchor the site. It's not. They don't have access to man, and look at the adaptation. Gambit's already got a smoke on that tunnel this time, Jason, so they have learned, they have recovered from it, and they're going to plant the bomb at A.
Yeah, they've got him. That's a really nice hit. And the only way to stop that, he can still hold the angle with that smoke and ruins. Obviously, it's the re-peaks it prevents. And a good move by Nafany to get aggressive into it. But now they have to battle to find some post-plant positions. And this is so dangerous. Almazer gets one. Oh, he doubles him up. That's Flit actually from behind. So the retake is officially on.
On or off? Almazer, he's got something to say in this back site. Through, down goes Flit. In comes Zorte. It's a one-on-one AWP. He knows where he is, but he's got two angles to play with. And time on his side, even catches the AWP on retreats. And we're not gonna reset the round. Thought he might live. Dies to the bomb, Jason. It's too bad. It's unfortunate, but it's 12-8 for Gambit. Yeah. Good recovery. That was a good change-up, right? You saw the same smoke, but this time they did consider that other tunnel.
Well, this time also it helps Nafany. Tosses a nade through the smoke and ruins and comes through with it, able to get like an easy, cheeky little kill there. So clears out the entirety of back halls, and what a strong position to hold for the retake as well. Like it's hard to clear out when you're entering the bomb site, but once you've got it, it's hard for the other team as well. And back to pistols for forZe.
Gambit's more even than what I saw from Ents when I watched them play, who I don't think were as well versed on the map. This is actually quite good so far. They're very content with going to A, and Zorty just gets destroyed this time.
It's almost like a complete reversal of what we saw in the first map. Or in the first
half. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, most teams are going B. Most teams that I've seen are going B because they haven't figured out how to deal with all these angles at A.
Well, at the moment, at least against forZe here, Gambit is looking good. And the question becomes, I mean, if they're going to keep doing this, at what point does forZe bring? This is the mind game of the callers right now. Is when is forZe going to bring that extra player over to that A bomb site to maybe put somewhere in the site so they can be more aggressive, so they don't have to play in these choke points that are getting smoked off, so they can set up some kind of a crossfire to maybe even deny access to the site instead of fighting for just a pick or two on the way in. Because if Gambit can read that, if they can predict it, that's when you hit mid. That's when you hit towards the B bomb site. That's when you go in and attack the weaker part of the map where that player rotates from.
Anthony is getting another kill at the end of the round. Closes out on Flit, building up the bank. SMG. So we take a look in. There's Hobbit. Good old Hobbit, major winner on this team, as I mentioned earlier. Former teammates from that major winning team, Mo and Adren, picked up the win this morning 2-0 against Entropic. Obviously, they're on K23 now. So he'll be holding out to middle. Smoke at the ramp. Hobbit's the one boosted above it to try and look back towards stairs, but no one there yet. Flit instead. Pushed up in through cat again. No one mid. We're seeing this. This is the second time now. They're going to double up at A main, but they're leaving that mid totem wide open. Such a different approach than what we saw from Gambit. Really getting aggressive and holding that early on. So consider that for rotations, Jason, because look how far apart respective players are on the CTs right now.
Yeah, they're spread very, very much so. Big risk not having any information. At the moment, it's going to pay off. Opening kill to Almazer. That's going to pull Zorti back a little bit so we can get eyes over towards Donut, but still, it's this Nafany push that might be real dangerous inside of the smoke. And he'll have Pac-10 at some awkwardly close-up angles, but maybe it just never matters. Maybe Gambit is just, I mean, they're similarly like playing pretty passive, spread out, looking for pushes, but they're losing the battles. They're finding what they want, which is these aggressive peaks. They're just not getting the kills.
Bomb slowly back toward ramp. This time, Almazer wins the duel. And even though they were spread out, no kills yet, Nafany's going to sneak through. Even Zordi wins that exchange. I would have thought that one was almost for free, but good away. Zordi, that's a clean sweep from forZe. I didn't really think that setup was all that strong, but just straight up aim duels, they win them.
It felt like, I mean, this was definitely a change up. That round was a change up in style that Gambit brings out, right? Like previously we'd been seeing kind of, you know, a little bit more grouped up and you're kind of marching towards the A bomb site. Everyone's got their 3 set smokes. They're going to drop them in the various places and attack with all the utility. This one was like spread across the map. And, you know, as things happen, like try and find like an individual play, try and find a seam that you can slip into, try and find something or some rotation that forZe are pulling off that give you a position. And, you know, sometimes those rounds just fizzle out in that fashion.
Well, that smoke will get in deep, cover off the backside of the A site, but Zorda's already forward of that. Hobbits, good find that Almazer back over toward B this time. In fact, 2 players down already at his hands. And Jerry Molotov'd off. Jerry.
Yeah. Well, now where do you go if you're Gambit? You've had so much success. The last thing you want to do is give away some easy kills at the end. 5 on 3. So he's got 1. Don't go towards that ult. You don't have the smokes to block that off. You've got to back away from A, but that does actually pull kenzie into this direction. Feels a bit of pressure.
It would almost be nice to see another lurk through mid at this point. Inters is holding at totem, but if they can get up and actually cut off the rotation and put some more pressure on the backside of the site, because even at A, or excuse me, even at B, you still have Jerry holding with that M4, and he's going to be able to swing to cave. Hobbit's got the shot instead. Man, oh man, he's been sharp in the duels today. Now, the lurk late in mid, Inters is going to be able to hear them coming from totem, and they're aware that he's there, but that doesn't matter because bomb's already planted on B. They're really just playing to get the gun out of his hands at this point, and they'll do exactly that. But I'd say this round is over as they're going to try and save.
Yeah, very much over. Hobbit, great round. First one, boosted up, anti-flash for the push. Finds a little one-way corner of the smoke at the top of the ramp. And obviously the entry when they slow things down and commit to the bomb site, 14-9. Gambit winning in a lot of different ways, set pieces, and now we see them just get a couple picks and play a slow-paced round. It's looking good as they're up by 5.
What do you got? You got like Ben and Jerry, Tom and Jerry. What other combos is there?
Tom and Jerry, Ben and Jerry, Jerry Lewis in the news.
Springer. Jerry Lewis in the news. Yep.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Yep, Jerry Seinfeld is that's the good one. The best one. Greatest show on television.
Jerry Reinsdorf.
Okay, don't know who that is.
He owned the Chicago Bulls for a hot minute.
Gotcha.
14-9. This is playing out pretty well. I like that one team attacked B and one team attacked A. It's like getting a little playbook of what's available on the map.
Good look at the stats as well. 94.3 ADR for Nafany. I mean, especially the second half, what a time he's had. He's really come alive. AWP in the first, he was pretty solid as well over predominantly B side because, again, as you say, forZe was really putting the pressure on that side of the map. So it is kind of cool that we're seeing very different approaches, but it's exactly that. We're seeing how the map's starting to play out. They're just showing this to everyone. There's
at least
no
for the moment.
Strats
I mean, it's gonna be fun map to watch progress because going into Cologne, like there's some teams like got some stuff on this map in the lab. Like we're gonna see a lot of untested things on Ancient coming into Cologne next week. So it's fun to kind of get that baseline leading into it as well. Round 24 coming in hot. Couple of timeouts used. And forZe need to get on the winning side of things probably right now. Don't want to give Gambit 6 chances to close this out. Going to be very, very difficult.
Gambit won't win the duel this time. Almazer comes up better off for it as Naf's still watching back at middle, making sure no one's going to come up from Tetris. But again, there hasn't been a lot of mid aggression from forZe over time. It's surprising, considering that seems to be the trend that I'd started to spot and see developed, and we saw Gambit use it. So
I think some of the problem is like if you're aggressive down mid right now, like where are you going to go? Because usually they have both things smoked off, and also there's a Molotov being thrown, I believe by Nafany, over middle to land on those boxes just on the jump up to B. Yep. So if you're pushing down middle and you don't get the fight that you want, like right at that moment, you just have nowhere to be. Pop flash through the smoke, actually a good timing, but they need to clear this box. Exile plays here. He does at least get the trade. He was aware of the possibility, but an AWP has the angle to hold him away from the bomb, and Nafany's still lurking in mid.
Great kill, Nafany holding and finds Almazer. Yeah, I thought Kenzie was going to go over the fact that they walked in, no one was in ruins, and now they're going to get aggressive. Now Gambit's going to go on the hunt, on the charge in the post plant, and they'll take the man advantage. Good play again from Axil as he goes all the way forward. Flit has to rotate it around from CT spawn, and they're both actually going to head toward ruins. Jerry with just the MP9 to work with. There was an AWP down, and Flit's going to grab that. Are they going to try and save it? They are, but Axil's going to cut them off because he's in a great spot to do it, and that's how quickly you can pounce on these two angles. Jerry's got one in response. But I think this round is over. It's really just about trying to get that AWP at this point. Jerry's aware they're going to be pushing, manages to get one more. He'll get the gun, and he's on his way out. Yep. He knows the radius better than I do. Go figure.
Yeah, I know. Imagine that. Surprised your COD 4 knowledge didn't help you out.
You know, I was thinking that he should have proned there.
I'm sorry. That was mean. That was an easy one.
It wasn't mean. It's fine. It's fine. You're bald.
Yeah. That's fair. I can't argue with that one. 15-9. There's the 6 chances for the best team in the world.
Yeah, Gambit looking pretty solid. 15-9 though. I mean, forZe has made this somewhat of I guess it hasn't really been that close, has it? But I mean, 9 rounds, almost double digits. It is their map choice. I'm trying to be optimistic because you are against the world #1, but Gambit, adaptation to the map. We're going to slow it down again this time. Bomb has worked its way toward middle. We have a difference in I was about to say difference in opinion, but difference in setup this time from Zortz. Goes out toward that. Jerry swinging out. Snaffany goes down as a result, but he's isolated by the flames. Second one going to go on top of him. That pushes him even further over to the left side. Problem is that Shiro doesn't want to get in position with the AWP to try and take that fight necessarily.
He knows he's got him boxed in. He kind of wants some help from a teammate. He's just looking for the follow-up peek, looking who's going to come to actually help Jerry, but the answer is no one. They're going to let Jerry die, but he's going to take at least 2 with him. Oh, and Shiro's missed 3 shots with the AWP on Jerry. He could have put it down a long time ago. It's the Glock that eventually does the trick. But meanwhile, all through this, look at Exile's position.
So again, getting aggressive though, but Kenzie's ready for it. Almazer makes this more awkward. He's going to tag up Shiro as well. And he wins it on a scout in a one-on-one against an AWP. He'll let him run forward and grab the big gun. And it's another map point for Gambit, but forZe in the economic situation are well ahead right now.
All right, well, the double op setup worked for Gambit. That was part of the key to their turnaround at the end of the half. We'll see if it can do the same thing for forZe. And this might actually be a sneakily difficult round for a double op setup, considering the Tech 9s and how fast they're going to swarm. Flashbang aren't there in time, and good utility damage. There it is a little bit late. The op is forced back into the cave. A second player as well, and they can't make it all the way around. Flitz got a double kill to keep the spacing, and the danger is over.
Yeah, over indeed. Flitz got the shots. forZe have the win, and no bomb plant. Not a ton of money still for Gambit. Still laughing it off and having a good time, but getting a little bit deeper into the rounds here. So I think they'll suck this one up. This is what we were talking about earlier when we saw Navi. You know, it was like 15-5, and they were like, yeah, let's just buy anyway. They had time to do it. Now is when you don't want to do it. You don't want to give away more than you have to. Anthony all the way down towards, or excuse me, up toward A main through the smoke already. It's Hobbit that's gonna have problems. Jerry comes out from cave. Hobbit's already found one of the Deagle. Watch out because Flit's down at the bottom of the ramp. Hobbit spotted that as well and actually has a headshot angle on the corner, but Flit makes no mistake and puts him down with the A1S, and Shiro smoked off, can do nothing of it. They now control all of the B site because they have it completely locked off. This has to go toward A. Interestingly enough, they still want to rotate off of it, but it's pretty obvious where this is going to end up. And it's a late Molotov mid, which will now allow for the rotation to come back around from forZe.
Oh, team kill. Thankfully, Zorti's there to get the USB kills and hold them back. That was actually quite dangerous. They're very fortunate, actually. Ooh, nice shot from Shiro. Hold the phone for a second. They're kind of fortunate that side of the map, the pistols that were there was just 3 unarmored Glocks to initiate that. I mean, still an entry, but if there had been some Deagles, a Tech 9 running across instead, that actually could have gotten dangerous for that second follow-up player. 15-12. All of a sudden, Gambit's lead and such a great chance at closing this out has dwindled.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but we're back on the weapons now. Bang pop flash off the ramp wall. Aggressive he is, and this time Hobbit's ready for it. Catches him out. Shiro's got Flit. 2-man advantage for Hobbit on match point. Or I should say map point. We are in a best of 3.
I'm surprised they're continually being aggressive towards Hobbit when he's done such a good job of neutralizing that throughout this entire half. Either way, the op brings them one step closer to evening things up. And there is a push in A main. Kenzie ready and waiting. An early warning system as well. He gets this kill, and it'll give time over to Zort with the op to be able to rotate back in a position. And Kenzie got so much to deal with. But if they don't check it, he could double him up. He could get a multi-kill. They check it, but the op is going to pick him off. No follow-up for him.
Not at all. This back for's a little bit closer, but Excel's going to make sure that Zordy is exiled as Almazer wants to walk back out toward the smoke, and it's completely deterring his vision. He's hard scoped, doesn't want to make any more noise than he needs to, doesn't want to reveal his position as he tries to work his way back through. Bomb will be planted. Deep corner plant. Like that. Cuts the angle, some ruins, and Hobbit will get the kill. Almazer goes down, and it's Gambit with the win, Jason.
Yeah, it was. That's cool. For a cool first cast of Ancient, I enjoyed that. Good win. I like their executes on the A bomb site. I liked all those smokes. I like being able to see that someone had that smoke for the ruins area. It was fun to get a glimpse at some of that kind of stuff. Still, it got tested a little bit, but it didn't actually ever feel like they were out of control. You know, I never actually felt like forZe was going to make the comeback and win, but the score was pretty damn close.
I mean, that's forZe's map choice, right? And where it's a new map, you kind of, I guess it's not guaranteed if you pick it, you're going to win it because you don't know what the other teams have been doing on it. But also, you know, you expect that they're going to have a set piece and a bit more strategy than just going B every time. I mean, they did shut down that aggression in middle from Gambit, but they didn't really do anything with it, unfortunately, in my opinion. So, yeah, first map goes the way of Gambit. We will be going to Dust 2 next. Now, we did say that the Spirit's Virtus Pro game was highly important for the sake of the RMR, for the sake of the standings.
Yeah.
And especially that Spirit was in first coming into this, Jason. That one's quite close right now.
Oh yeah, it is 11-9 in the favor of Spirit. That's a cool game. Go over and check that one out. We're on break, and when we come back, we'll get Dust 2 underway. See you then.
К команде Немига я отношусь достаточно хорошо. Там играют некоторые мои знакомые, с кем я хорошо общаюсь, иногда играю в свободное время, поэтому я отношусь с ним вполне хорошо. Ну, прям самого сильного я не знаю, чтобы выделить. Там все ребята достаточно играют хорошо. Джу, Лолипопик, Бокс, да все, МДС, Дисбаланс. Я не знаю, выделить кого-то я не могу. Все ребята достаточно хорошо играют и достаточно профессионально относятся к делу, вот так скажу. Такой игрок, наверное, это Бокс и Лолипопик я отмечу. Вот так. Которые могут перевернуть игру. К команде Тропик я тоже отношусь очень хорошо. У них был костяк из 3 игроков, которые очень играли давно. Это Никельбэк, Лаки и Элиан. Плюс к ним добавились 2 опытных игрока, побывавших уже на мажоре, на миноре. Это Крат и Форестер, поэтому к ним я отношусь хорошо. А насчет этой игры я могу сказать, легких игр не бывает. Это была плотная, тяжелая игра. И со стороны, я думаю, она была очень зрелищная и интересная. Каждая команда является сильным соперником. Мы не разделяем на то, что сильная, слабая. Мы стараемся подходить к каждой игре одинаково, будь это топ-1 мира или топ-100. Но если говорить про закрытые, то я думаю, наверное, мы были фаворитами и точно должны были проходить на сам турнир, в основную стадию. Еще я могу выделить такие команды, как Немига, такие команды, как К-23. Немига — это уже ребята опытные, они поиграли много вместе. Я думаю, они тоже были фаворитами. А вообще, основную стадию? Наверное, это очевидно Гамбит, потому что ребята уже 7-й или 8-й раз выходят подряд в финал. Они очень жестко играют. Я бы на самом деле очень хотел с ними поиграть. Уже жду с нетерпением нашу игру, потому что мы давно с ними не встречались. Последний раз мы вроде как их выиграли на отборочных Flashpoint. Поэтому я скажу, что это Гамбит. На самом деле тоже затрудняюсь ответить, потому что я не следил за открытыми квалификациями. Я ждал банку Пепси, во-первых, увидеть закрытых, потому что ребята там тоже достаточно опытные, с кем мы играли уже, там с Ксипауэром, с Фейскряком. Достаточно неплохой состав. Но Экс-Марлиан, да, наверное, потому что они достаточно неплохо тоже показали результат на том РМР-турнире. Еще удивила команда Эдварда. Молодцы ребята, тоже прошли. Но больше, я говорю, ничего не могу сказать. Stopping Gods тоже первую квалификацию не играли, зарегались на вторую, прошли, молодцы. Прошли на РМР. В порядке лучше, но первое, я бы говорю, нам разделил бы первое, второе нас Энтропик, потому что у нас игра, получается, с ними очень плотные и интересные игры. Третье это было бы Немига, четвертое это были бы К-23, а пятое Stopping Gods. На самом деле, я считаю, что хорошо, что организации ищут интерес в СНГ-регионе и стараются подписать, потому что это плюс как и для региона, так и в целым для игры. Но насчет команды, я не знаю, мне тяжело на самом деле опять же сказать, потому что мы видели их только игру, в принципе, на РМР-турнире первом. Они достаточно, говорю, неплохо себя там показали. Если это произойдет, то я думаю, это будет хорошо как для региона, как и для них.